Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new edition of our online interview presentations. And we want to talk today to Roger Goodwin, who is the CFO of Griffin Mining, China's largest zinc producer. Hey, good morning to London. Roger, how are you doing?
Good morning, Jochen. Again, it's a nice sunny morning in London whenever I speak to you. It's good.
Super. I love to hear that. Actually, when I visited London like 10, 15 times in my life, I never had bad weather. So fully understandable. That's fantastic. And I must say, as the sun is shining in London, as is shining your quarterly results, which are really outstanding. You guys had an increase in revenues of 154%, a gross profit plus 500%. So this is really amazing. And we have a little presentation here with you, which I would urge you now, please, to get started. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Sir Jochen. Well, these are near record results for a first half year, and certainly for regard to the production of zinc, they are very much a record for us in the first half of the year. So you will have seen that the actual amount of ore that we mined and processed in the first half of 2021 was up 47% on what we did in the first half of 2020, which has led to an increase of 47% also, or nearly 48% in the amount of zinc we produced. And that took us up to close to 20,000 tons of zinc metal in concentrate in the first half year. Now that is a record for us in the first half year. So that was quite an achievement. Gold production was also up by over sort of 200%. That wasn't quite the record. Certainly, we've seen a fluctuation with gold. Gold's not our primary product anyway. It is a secondary product. So in chasing the zinc, the gold grades do sort of vary a certain amount.
Fantastic.
But certainly a significant increase from what we achieved last year. Although I have to admit that last year we were caught by the restrictions for I was going to say containing COVID within the area. So we did have a month's shutdown. But even so, if you look back to 2019, again, there's significant increase. And what's also important is back end of last year, we completed what we call the PFA work. And that allowed us to mine down to the bottom of the mine, to the 1,000-meter level, which is 500 meters below surface. All the infrastructure's there, most of the development work is there, so we can now just get on and just mine away to our heart's content. And we're actually now mining and processing close to 100,000 tons of ore per month. So that's bringing us up to around about 1.2 million tons of ore per annum, compared to just under 900,000, which we did when we had a full year's production in previous years. So we're seeing not just an increase because of last year's restrictions, but also a general increase as we enlarge and sort of mine more within the Zone 2 area. And of course, don't forget, we've now got the Zone 2 license area. We're just waiting for the final approvals on our mine design, and we're going to be developing that. So sky's the limit.
Fantastic. Sky's the limit. I like that. That's fantastic. Maybe just a short question into that, because I saw lead in concentrate fell a little bit. I mean, lead is not also your primary product, and this makes some percent to the revenue. But was there a technical reason for the lead, or was it just because the ore was more rich in silver and gold?
The ore was really more a case of it was richer in zinc, in actual fact. The only reason we actually mine the lead and recover the lead is because we sell a lead concentrate that contains the silver and the gold. So we get the main revenue is again from the silver and gold, but it just happens to be contained in a lead concentrate. But you're quite correct. The actual lead grades were lower than what they had been in the sort of the previous years, but it's not really significant to us. It's the principal things really are the zinc and the gold.
Fantastic. So let's have a look on the financial performance. Exactly. Here we are. I mean, that looks really impressive, I must say.
Not quite a record. I mean, our previous record, I think was going back to about 2017, but that's when the zinc price was up to over $4,000 per ton, the market price that is. Whereas in the first half of 2021, the zinc price was just under $3,000 a ton. So record production, but it didn't quite give us the record financial result. So revenues 54.1 million compared to 21.3 million last year, an increase of 154% there. And I'm going to say much of that as well. As I said, the zinc pricing has increased significantly. So we were getting around about $1,300 per ton in 2020. We were getting over $2,200 a ton in 2021. And there's been a bit of a double benefit there, because what we've seen is not just the price of, or the market prices of zinc increasing, but also the TC charges, that is the smelter charges. They've fallen significantly. So they've fallen from almost over 40% of the market price down to 23% and even lower on occasions as well. So that's been good for us. And of course, that flows through to our gross profit. So we've got a gross profit of 25.7 million compared to 4.2 million last year, up 512%. We have seen an increase in the cost of sales over and above our increase in production. A couple of reasons for that. One, we're mining deeper. So things like our haulage costs, our mining costs, they have risen. And also the renminbi has actually increased in value by 7.6% during sort of the first half of 2021. So we're being caught with that. But it's still given us a profit before tax of 15.5 million compared to a loss of 3 million last year. And a profit after tax of 10.3 compared to a loss of 3.8 million, leading to basic earnings per share of 5.88 cents compared to a loss of 2.22 cents. Importantly, cash generated from operations this year, or first half of this year, I should say, was $16.8 million. Over half of that was sort of spent in the mine, but it has enabled us to build up some cash resources as well.
Super. And I think you guys do not have any debt, right?
Certainly, in the first, well, I was going to say the 30th of June, we certainly didn't have any debt.
Fantastic. So to me, that looks like, if I say 6 US cent, this is approximately 4.2 pence, British pence. So yeah. I could imagine maybe from next year onwards, 1 pence a share per quarter as a dividend might be an idea.
Well,
as I'm a shareholder too, I would love to see that.
And as I said before, and certainly us Europeans, appreciate dividends, whereas our American friends appreciate share buybacks. So we have been doing some share buybacks, but it's interesting because we've actually found it quite difficult to buy shares in the market. There don't seem to be many shares out there to be sold. So it's unfortunately a bit of an illiquid market. So we've been struggling to buy back some shares. So I think, yes, we really need to consider, and certainly under discussion, is paying dividends in the future.
Fantastic. Yeah, when I was buying my shares, I had to leave my limits like 2 or 3 days in to get all the shares I wanted. That's really interesting. And as you said, nobody really wants to sell the shares. That is really, really nice to see because it looks like that you have great confidence and support for the company. Let's talk shortly on, as we see it here already, cash generative you are. We spoke about it. What is going on with the organic growth? As you touched already on it, now you are at 1.2 million tons ore per year, but as far as I have it in my mind, you want to go to over 2 million tons a year, right? Within the next 18 to 24 months, probably.
Well, it's quite interesting. I mean, the processing plant has a nameplate capacity of 1.5 million. So what we're hoping to do is open up the Zone 2 area. That's going to take about a year to 18 months to actually do that. And once that's open, that should give us at least 300,000 tons of ore per annum. So that will take us up to the capacity of the mill, or what they call nameplate capacity of mill, of 1.5 million. However, we're pretty confident that it can probably do more than 1.5 million. So we certainly like to push it above 1.5 sort of million. But we do have sort of issues to face, going forward. China's not the easiest place to deal with. Like everywhere else in the world, bureaucracy is a nightmare.
Okay, so that means you need, again, permits for that, or you can say, okay, with what we have, we can reach, let's say, the 1.5 million, and then let's see how it goes, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are always various permitting to deal with, as in every country. As every step goes, you go through every step in developing the mine. There's a permit to be sort of gained. I mean, it's just a bureaucratic hassle, but that's something we have to deal with.
Well, that's normal these days, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter what business you're in.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So that organic growth, I assume that you can really finance that fully internally from the cash flow.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. We are not looking to sort of any external financing at all.
Okay, super. Then I read at sustainability. That's quite interesting. You are as a green mine accredited, so that means ESG wise, you are on the right path, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Chinese produced what they call a green mining list at the beginning of the year, and we were top of that list. So we try and be as environmentally friendly as possible. We try and look after our local sort of communities. We certainly avoid any sort of pollution sort of within the area. Certainly all of our tailings, they are all sort of benign. So there's nothing nasty going into sort of environment. Things like our tailings dams, they're quite secure actually, because we're not in a wet area. I mean, we've seen problems with tailings dams elsewhere in the world, and they're usually in wet areas where they get overwhelmed by water. Whereas with us, we're in a dry area, they're fairly sort of stable. So that's all sort of good. And actually, one of the things we're doing is we've entered an arrangement with a local brick manufacturer, and he's actually taking our tailings to make bricks in the local area. So again, we're reusing whatever we're producing. And we're putting more and more of the tailings back into the mine. That helps to stabilize the mine, and again, means that there's less waste going out into the surface.
Fantastic. Short question here to come to an end, because everything looks really fantastic. And now we have already end of August. That means from Q3, 2 months are almost gone. How was the quarter so far? Can you say something? Are you satisfied, or you had any issues or hiccups?
Well, as I said, we've been touching the 100,000 tons of ore per month. I was going to say, we've certainly been running close to our budget so far. I'll be honest with you, sort of, Jochen, our only issue going forward is we have the Winter Olympics coming up in Chongli in the beginning of, it's in February 2021. There is a question on having explosives during that sort of period and immediately beforehand. So that's really the issue we sort of face at the moment. Other than that, we seem to be going relatively smoothly.
Super, but that's February 2022, right?
2022, yes, sorry.
Okay, so next year the Winter Olympics. Okay, so that might be. Sorry?
I seem to lose 2 years with COVID,
Yeah, I know. This confuses everybody. We should maybe do a time calculation before and after COVID, something like this. Okay, so. Yeah, but this might be something which, let's say, might happen but must not happen, right?
Well, it may happen. We don't know. We just do not know at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Perfect. Well, Roger, thank you very much for this update. And it looks like that you guys did everything really right here. And yeah, I would say keep it going and please us with some more good numbers every quarter.
We'll try.
Super. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Roger Goodwin, the CFO of Griffin Mining. And you heard it. Things are going extremely well. The company is fully back on track after the COVID shutdowns and irritations they saw last year. And so also they are growing the company organically now to 100,000 tons of ore mined per month. And so to 1.2, 1.3 million tons. They want to bring that up. Actually, 1.5 million tons is like the nameplate capacity. And yeah, the company has no debt. That's what we love. You know that. And I have a very good feeling that probably sooner than later, we might see some dividends, share buybacks they are doing already. And so I would urge you and suggest, please check out this fantastic producing company. Thanks for watching us, and bye from Switzerland.
Thank you.